Hey guys, Ron here, and once again I brought together 3 other artists, gave them a prompt, and we all had to create some Pokemon that embodied the description I gave them, which was proverbs. I tasked them with creating 3 Pokemon based on famous messages, philosophies, and quotes like, an apple a day keeps the doctor away, or the early bird catches the worm. Now we're finally going to reveal our Fakemon to you guys and each other. Since last episode I invited 2 new guests, I thought today we could have 3 fan favorites from previous parts. Let me introduce these amazing artists. Once again, Vergolophus is here. Why did that sound sarcastic? I'm not being sarcastic. DeadBedSpread is back at it again, and BonnyJohn will join us as well. Check the description for the links to these wonderful creators. Now let's finally see the results. But before that, consider leaving a like if you enjoy so I know to make part 8. And check out my Pokemon art playlist, which has tons of videos like this one where I create new Pokemon. So, the first proverb actually helped me a lot in therapy. So it's basically, when you go to therapy every few weeks or months, you'll have a crazy breakthrough. And one of them was when I remembered a quote from Uncle Iroh from Avatar, The Last Airbender. Favorite character, by the way.
Goated.
Great choice.
So the quote is, "Pride is not the opposite of shame, but its source." I realized that my social anxiety disorder didn't come from humility, but rather pride. Basically that too much pride goes to your head, so anytime I did something I wasn't an expert on, I would feel embarrassed or shame, because I'm used to being proud of myself. So for a while I was too afraid to do anything I wasn't perfect at, let's say socializing, because I didn't want to feel shame. So I made basically a very proud Pokemon whose pride is what causes him shame. Mm-hmm. So basically I made a baby lizard inside of an egg. A fancy Fabergé egg, because it's fancy and he's prideful of this egg. So originally I drew the egg and lizard together without visualizing them separately, which is a bad idea because I didn't know what I was drawing inside the egg. So I went back and designed the egg shape and baby lizard separately, and then I shoved it inside the egg. Originally I went with bird-like legs because I thought it was funnier. I definitely want big feet with a tail that, along with the legs, looks like the base of a Fabergé egg. That's why I added a bit more crystals to the egg to make it look more bejeweled. I decided to give it a smile so it looks like it thinks he's in a better place in life than us, when in reality he can barely move. I gave him a mint tint, but more frosted as if his skin was frozen. Here's the Pokemon.
Whoa!
Oh my god, hello.
He's cute!
So, fabulous.
Fabulous.
Are those little buttons for his little overall eggs?
Basically, so
that is so cute.
It's both the ornament on a Fabergé egg.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's this little lizard who doesn't want to come out of its shell because it's a very beautiful egg that protects him, and he's very proud of this fancy ice egg and wants to stay in it forever at the expense of its speed and offense. The egg can withstand most attacks, but when it eventually gets damaged, Fabulous just repairs it quickly, but with its artistic frost breath. And the name is a combination of Fabergé, Fabulous, and Basilisk.
I don't know what the genre of name is, because there's some Pokemon names where
good ones.
It's kind of subtle. Yeah, it's a good one. But when it's it's so obviously a pun, but it also sounds good.
Oh yeah,
it does.
It's not just 2 words slapped together.
So basically, this little baby lizard will just never grow up because it's kind of stuck in its own head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But hopefully it goes through character development, and that's what the evolution is, basically.
I also want to say I love the orange and yellow, that warm color inside the expression peeking out against all the cool. It adds a really nice pop.
I mean, it's literally, I like how it's self-explanatory. I mean, it's literally, you can see it's a lizard in an egg, and it likes being in the egg, obviously. It's smiling. But yeah, it's also looking down on you. It thinks it's better than you, but in reality, it's no, the thing that makes it look fancy is also holding it back.
Big time, yeah.
Pride. Mm-hmm. So, the other half of Uncle Iroh's quote, which is the solution, is that true humility is the only antidote to shame. So, I made an evolved form that finally comes out of its shell and is very humble and carefree, and it's based on, as the name suggests for the pre-evolved form, a basilisk lizard.
Mm-hmm.
We love to see it.
Which are, those lizards that run on water. Basically, it's free now. It'll be able to run on water. So I want to make a basilisk lizard with a crest made out of ice. I want it to look active and happy. Throughout the process, I wanted to give it ice skates made of ice, but by the end, I settled for flat feet that actually freeze the ice, more like skis instead of skates. The struggle was also determining how reptilian to make it. The more it looked like a realistic lizard, the less it looked like the average Pokemon. Originally, it had those orbs on its cheeks to look like earmuffs. I took them out and also combined the ice of its crest with its back. Basilisk!
Oh, wow.
Oh.
He's the humble Pokemon, and it evolves from Fabulisk at max friendship. So upon realizing that it has friends to protect it, and becomes Basilisk. And then Basilisk can like freeze water with the thermal pads on its feet, giving it the ability to walk on the water. And they leisurely skate around ponds. It loves honing its ice skating abilities. Every time it falls down, it quickly picks itself up and continues to have fun. Just a chill guy.
It was instantly readable that like its feet were for skating as opposed to running.
Cool.
Especially it's so genius taking something like a basilisk lizard and then just tying in ice skating to it. It's one of those things that you just see and you're like, oh, that's a Pokemon, obviously, you know?
What I did like about the most of this is not just that it was the proverb of pride and letting go of that pride, but as you said before, there was a bit of that social anxiety standpoint, especially when it comes to, well, yes, this is my shell and I want the world to see it, but I'm also subconsciously using this shell to hide from everyone around me because I am just so afraid of messing up.
Exactly.
It seems like I really do like that there is this just confidence and it does, but also that it's not afraid to mess up, not afraid to show its weaknesses.
Exactly. I mean, this one's definitely the deepest one out of the three. I'll love this Pokemon forever because of how it like reflects my life, I guess, or how I want. I mean, it's hard to say that you're cured ever from some kind of thing that you're going to therapy for, but like I hope that I would be like this Pokemon, you know, at the end of the road, let's say.
I gotta say, I loved when you mentioned, well, for one, the evolution method is through happiness, right? That you trust your trainer.
Yeah.
And so you trade the egg for, which, you know, that was what protected you. And now you're trading it for another individual, a person that will love you and protect you. Thus surrendering your fear, you know? And I love that, how that translates into that, like, smile. I can see him almost like ice skating, looking up at the trainer from this pose and this expression, like saying, like, check out what I'm doing.
Oh my god.
Like, you helped me reach that.
Honestly, I mean, like, even though I came up with that, hearing it from you, like, made me kind of emotional. Not gonna lie.
Let's go.
That was beautiful. Oh, wow. I'm reacting to my own Pokemon.
This is the power of friendship.
Exactly. And Pokemon are designed to be your friend.
I guess based on like my favorite Pokemon, let's say like Sceptile, which is like just a cool lizard that you want to be friends with. I guess I inputted that into this guy too. Like this is
and
the
you
ultimate
made it a cool
friend.
lizard.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm still, figuring out, Fakemon and Pokemon and all that. And the number one thing that I kept instilling into my designs is the notion that whatever we're looking at, this design has to look like it could be your friend. And again, like that expression where like it's just looking up. I'm picturing this small guy just looking up at his trainer like, check me out.
I can relate to that even like deeper in the fact that like, for example, let's say when I was a kid, I was afraid of, I'm still afraid of the dark, kind of, but like, let's say I have to go to the basement in the dark or something, or do something at night when everything's dark. I would just imagine like my favorite Pokemon being behind me or in front of me and leading me the way into the darkness.
That is so wholesome.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, yeah, Pokemon really is the ultimate like friendship, or like it makes you believe in friendship the most, honestly. When you can just literally befriend pixels, it's pretty cool.
They're just cool dudes, why can't they be real?
It's so nice to see Pokemon introduce other people to other animals that they'd never heard of before.
True.
And befriend those animals, have a connection with those animals. So it's always nice to see that when there's a friendly Pokemon that introduces you not only to a rare and endangered and kind of underrated animal, but also makes you really appreciate it for what it is.
It's funny that we're like focusing on the idea of friendship for this Pokemon when my next Pokemon is like the ultimate friend. So let's go to that.
No pressure.
Alright, so my final proverb, I don't need an image for that, is an age-old one, but I first heard it in Pokemon, and it's literally my life philosophy, which is that it's not always black and white. and this is like it's literally my life mantra. It's probably the thing I talk to my friends about the most. Trying to stay away from extremes. So most things are gray, and like many problems are solved by combining like multiple elements and perspectives. So I made a Pokemon that has a black and white color scheme. Like that's how deep it is. It's literally black and white, but it can change into a form that adds gray and other colors to its palette, basically. And that's when it's its strongest, because like basically shows that you are more powerful when you aren't just seeing in black and white. So it'll be more powerful in its colorful form. And obviously it's going to be based on a black and white animal. I guess I don't need to show you the reference. You'll know what it is. You'll know what it is. So we're literally making an unassuming Dalmatian with the thickest, most muscular neck you've seen. He's serious and ready for action. The point is to make it look like an average yet athletic dog to make room for the powered up form. You see, Dalmatians are associated with firefighters, so it'll be a fire type with a fire collar. Its ankles have a stripe reminiscent of the stripes on a firefighter's, uniform. Is it a uniform or a suit? Whatever. Here is Dalmatian.
How did I know it was going to be a Dalmatian?
Yeah.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah, there's no reason to not.
Yeah, I mean, we just got 3 new dogs in Paldea, and like, I want more.
I'm gonna need at least 3 more.
When I was making, I was thinking about the Paldean dogs. I'm like a whole squad of different breeds, basically.
Exactly.
So this is the standby form. It's basically a loyal and serious Dalmatian that can consume fire. Basically, I mean, it's based on the whole association between Dalmatians and firefighters. I mean, as you see, it has stripes, for example, on its like ankles, and those will like glow in the dark, kind of like, or they will glow in its other form, just like firefighter suits or.
Well, the highlighter vests, right?
Exactly, the vest.
Oh.
Very cool. By the way, the rendering on this is sick.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm definitely
Like
proud of it. But in its rescue form, its fire gets bigger and its fur is more wild, with a tail that looks like smoke. This ash gray color will cover its body to show that it's no longer black and white, so much so that it has color now. Its fire burns hotter and the stripes on its ankles glow like Fire Force suits. The spots go from normal Dalmatian spots to glowing cinders. Whenever an ally is hit with a super effective move, Dalmatian's ability Rescue Mission activates, turning it into Rescue Form Dalmatian.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, hello.
He's handsome. He is very handsome.
He is.
So its stats are boosted, and now it's a firefighting type, and it rushes into the battlefield to help those who are hurt. And its bright streaks can be seen through thick smoke, and the fire it controls is so hot that it puts out other fires. And it uses its signature move, Burning Bark, which is a sound-based fire-type move, which unleashes a fire that exhausts all other flames. So any fire-type move is disabled for 5 turns after it uses that move.
Oh my god.
I gotta say the reflective element with the blue, like piercing through the warm and neutral tones, is so nice.
I know, right?
I get that reflective quality, and I could see this guy like jumping through the fire, and you could actually kind of see through the flickering smoke, like he's being that superhero. You can make him out, and he can find you.
I'm imagining
Sick.
like those long exposure shots.
Yeah.
People like record cars.
Light
and,
trails?
Yeah, kind of like that. And I love with the shiny, how it's not just all blue. You put the red then on the back legs. I know more Pokemon need like blue flames, and this guy still has blue flames on him. In his normal form, but it's just like the reason why so many Pokemon have like blue flame shinies is because they look so good.
It's probably my favorite. Like blue flame and black body is like my favorite in Pokemon.
It's so good.
There's something kind of creepy about the fact that its fur pattern really does resemble the inside of a burning building.
I know, right?
It's not. It's
oh, that is
it's
crazy.
Intense. It's intense because I've seen pictures of like what it looks like to be in there, and it's really cool to see it demonstrated in a positive light with a Pokemon that's about to rescue, that's about to make sure that these people are okay. People and Pokemon, excuse me.
Yeah, it's very much like fighting fire with fire, so it looks as dangerous as whatever it's fighting. But also, like, the idea, I guess, is that the spots kind of look like coal, and then when it's on its other form, when it's in the other form, it's like cinder or like sparks.
That's sick.
So, yeah.
Also, I love the pun of it being firefighting.
I know.
Great name. This bro looks like he can bench 350. I love him. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that attack stat.
I thought he'd have to be buff as hell. Actually, I'm also noticing in the in the fire, there's this kind of like texture pattern you added. I'm just seeing that, and that is really sick.
Oh yeah, that's modeled after, I think, Embor's fire.
Oh, okay, that's sick.
But yeah, exactly, right? It's those little things, they're very not noticeable. I don't even think you'll be able to see it in the compression of YouTube, so like the viewers won't be able to see that.
Maybe not.
But
yeah, only I'm blessed alongside these two.
You're welcome.
Ron, enhance, zoom in.
Great job.
I will, actually. I probably will.
Yeah, you have to add a fire overlay over it.
Make it 3D.
Put on your 3D glasses.
Ooh, that's not a bad idea for one episode. I never actually tried to design it, but in my head, originally, it was going to have like a helmet made of fire, like a firefighter, but like, I don't know.
I feel like you can sometimes get lost in like, oh, he's a fireman, I need to give him clothes. Yeah, but once you get kind of the concept across, like I can tell this guy's in burning buildings saving people, fighting fire. So like he doesn't need to be like, hey, I have a hat, I have a hose for a tail, you know, like stuff like that.
You're saying exactly what I'm thinking. Cool.
No disrespect to anybody who has made that Fakemon.
I was gonna disrespect them, not gonna lie. Okay, cool. Enough about me. Next is DeadBedSpread.
Hello. So I'm gonna try and get through this very quickly because there's a lot to say.
Oh, okay.
So my first proverb is quite simply, let sleeping dogs lie.
Oh.
Might be a fairly... I know, we just had a dog. There's a lot of coincidences more than that. So let sleeping dogs lie means if something is not an issue, don't disrupt it to make it an issue. Just let things be the way they are and everything will continue on fine. So right when Ron messaged us the prompt, I had just put together a collage of kind of every canine Pokemon for a theoretical dog fosterer trainer class. Because, DeadBedSpread lore, I am a dog fosterer in real life.
Salute to you.
There's some of my previous dogs.
I love them.
So the fella on the far right, Toby, was the first dog we had. And he was having a very bad dream. And I was an idiot. So I woke him up and quite literally, he ate my hand. So
whoa.
Yeah. So when I say that let sleeping dogs lie is something figuratively and literally connected to my life, I do mean it. He felt really bad about it immediately. I felt bad for waking him up. We were all chill. And that's... But this is what I mean, you know. Obviously, you can tell from this prompt, I'm going to be making a dog. Paldea gave us 3 new dogs. We also got Okie Dogie now, who's a 4th one. Never stop with the dogs. Dogs sleep in all sorts of positions. You know, they're notorious for it. I think statistically they sleep.
They do sleep.
Half their lifetime. So what dog could possibly be relevant in pop culture right now that I could make a Fakemon based off of?
I don't know how to pronounce it, not gonna lie.
Pochita?
Bluey?
The bourgeois.
This design fell into place pretty much right away. I mean, it's a sleeping dog. Super soft, fluffy, with loads of rounded shapes to give it that cloud-like, almost ethereal presence. With the fantastical twist that it's always floating through the power of dreams. Colour-wise, I figured the simpler the better. One solid colour with areas of contrast on the nose, tongue, paw pads, and the line work itself. I did end up adding a little white to pink gradient at the very end. Not something you see in a lot of Pokemon designs. I did have a bit of trouble with the back leg, but I fixed that up right at the end too. What a good boy. Let me do it for you.
Yeah, that... Oh my god.
So this is Snorzoi.
That's
Name
hilarious.
is Snore Borzoi, triple Z, because he's sleepy. So Snorzoi use their psychic power to float through the air while they're asleep. It's very similar to Musharna's kind of gimmick. You know, out of the amount of sleeping Pokemon we've gotten, I'm genuinely surprised that none of them have been a dog.
It seems like every animal sleeps, so I was definitely like kind of caught off guard when you said that dogs are notorious sleepers. But I guess, I mean, you're the expert.
Dogs are just like, oh, I'm not outside, I'm asleep.
That's why you gotta tell them to get a job.
Exactly. So because they're in a state of unconscious, pretty much it enhances their innate psychic abilities. They are great for cuddling, but if you do sneak up on them, they will attack you. Now, the thing is, how do you know if you're even sneaking up on it? Because it's already asleep. It has Komala's signature ability. Because I think,
makes sense.
You know, yeah, it shouldn't be reserved for one Pokemon, you know? The tongue, especially... is I just wanted to kind of show that there was a mouth without having the fangs poking out, and it's also a reference to a video I took of one of my foster dogs sleeping where her tongue was hanging up the way.
No, I love it. There's a lot of movement going on too, like with that craning neck coming into the poofy chest, swivels back up, and that tail extends. And I love the colors too, like the gradient that you put in there that adds that kind of like mystical feel moving on to purple.
Gradients are hard in Pokemon.
This dog is most certainly floating over because there is steam coming out of a pie on a window.
I was just gonna say,
Right. Yeah.
Pokemon would definitely make like an animated short of this guy sleepwalking, like into trouble,
Hitting the Looney Tunes.
No, this is people are gonna. This is gonna be a fan favorite because, like you said, this is a relevant meme, very important meme.
Yeah, I need it to be topical.
That means everybody has to watch this now. Please don't watch it later. I mean, if you're watching it now. But like, don't leave this for later because it's not gonna be relevant anymore.
Boar's eyes will never go out of fashion. My next proverb is actually a weird one, and I see it every day. I don't have a picture of it, but it is framed above my toilet, and it says,
That's when you know it's good.
"Life is short. Smile while you've still got teeth." It's basic. It's nice to be nice. Basically, I don't think we need to explain that one in too much detail. I'm thinking, what animals are known for having teeth?
Dogs.
Known for their teeth. I know, but and this goes back to what Vergo said about people not considering certain dangerous predatory animals cute. We got a shark.
Yes.
Perfect.
We do have 2 shark Pokemon, 2 shark lines,
Yes.
but they're so angry. It's like, I find sharks quite cute, to be honest. Now,
yes,
good dogs.
They're relatively cute.
I think bears and wolves are cute too. They'll still eat me, You can still
I think sharks are very cute, honestly.
Sharks are cute. Obviously, I have sharks in the brain, and then there's that thing where like a certain animal's name will make you just think of a Fakemon automatically. Like if I say like Thorny Devil, Star-Nosed Mole, Honey Badger, your mind goes crazy. So lo and behold, there's a species of shark called a lemon shark, and then which can bring in another proverb if you don't like the first one, which basically means the same thing, which is when life gives you lemons, make lemonade.
That's really good. You combine.
So-
That's clever. Goddamn.
I had 2 goals when starting this design. Shark and cute. Tiny body, big face. A shape which ended up reminding me of a lemon slice, and what are the odds that lemon sharks exist? A generally non-aggressive species. Just like Snorzoi, the concept informed the design, and it all came together rather seamlessly. I did have an early concept where Niblum could launch its teeth out of its mouth like bullets, but that didn't really tie into the message of the proverb that I wanted to get across, so I quickly dropped it. This friendly little guy has a positive, can-do attitude, all while boasting a massive grin. Niblum.
Oh no,
No.
this is my favorite.
Oh my god. I love him.
And then we got a lime version. That's pretty nice.
Yes.
Oh,
Gotta.
limes, good,
Gotta.
exactly.
So Niblum live in kelp forests. They don't eat the kelp. They are predatory Pokemon, but they can actually photosynthesize as well, due to the fact that they are grass.
Convenient.
So their body does secrete an acidic substance, which when paired with a swift bite powered by a special electromagnetic organ, can deliver a devastating shock. Because sharks have electroreceptors.
Yes, they do.
That I did.
Yes,
They really do.
Yes, they do. So basically, any like muscle twitch gives off tiny electric signals. But in the ocean, because it's saltwater, those can be conducted, and then sharks can literally locate things just by them moving.
Wow.
So I was kind of straddling the line of like, do I make it water grass or water electric? But then I figured I'd take the ability transistor. It's basically the electric version of Steelworker, where you get stabbed on electric moves. Because I mean, like Thunderfang, he's got to have it. That whole thing then comes from like lemon batteries. So
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
There's just a lot of things that kind of came together for this.
But yeah, the shape language is really good. Everything flows really well. It's very readable. It's a very appealing shape. Lemon peel. All the lemon shapes also work well to make the silhouette of a shark, like the fin, the nose. It really, it not only is a good
quite
idea,
the
but
color,
it
too.
does visually work.
It's everything I could ever wanted.
So my last proverb is something that my parents always say to me whenever we do like a family chore, and everybody does something at the same time, and that's many hands make light work. If everybody helps each other, the job will be done much easier,
It is physically true.
This one I was thinking for ages, and I was trying to think of like animals that work together, and then I was like, wait, what's the animal that like is known for working together in a massive group, so efficient like a machine?
Ants?
Ants.
Ants.
Ants. We were right.
Ants!
Yes. How is Durant our only ant Pokemon who specifically evolved
Pretty good.
to adapt to heat more by becoming 4 times weak to it?
It could have been chicken before the egg. It could be that it developed steel armor before Heatmore was totally a fire type Pokemon, and then Heatmore followed through by becoming
adapted.
more. Yeah, it's that's how evolution works. It's evolutionary war. You become thicker skinned, and then someone gets bigger fangs.
I was thinking, I want another ant. And there's something ants do, and that is swarming, making structures, all that jazz. They can climb up stuff, they make rafts out of their own bodies, bridges. Durant is already a regular ant. Heatmore is fire, so why don't we do a fire ant?
Finally.
This one gave me quite a bit of trouble, not only with the Fakemon, but even coming up with the proverb to base it on. However, in collab design challenges such as this, many hands truly do make light work. I was trying to think of a creature with multiple arms, hands, maybe also emitting light. I'd initially settled on a firefly, but then very quickly realized that it didn't really do the proverb justice. I had to think bigger, but by first going smaller. The firefly had already given me the right type combo for a fire ant, and it was important for this design to be as simple and unassuming as possible. Why? You'll just have to wait and see. Detonate.
Oh, I love him. I love him so much.
Oh, wow. Cool. This is like a very westernized Pokemon. I don't know what, it's definitely your style, but I don't know why this one's like 100% you. Yeah, I guess it's the colors now that I realize. It's the colors. Because it looks like the colors in your avatar.
Oh, shit, you're right.
Does it change form?
It's just an ordinary ant with a quad weakness. There's nothing to see here.
Ability swarming. When over half HP, the Pokemon appears to be alone. Alright, let's see this badass.
So, just when ants die in real life, they let off a death pheromone, which alerts the colony, but then the colony go to collect the dead body.
Yeah.
So that's why it can be so hard to get rid of like ant infestations, because they just keep coming after you kill them. So 4 time lapses by 1 artist in a 4 artists video? Impossible. The swarm form for Detonant took me many tries to get right. Having a basis in insectoid kaiju and mechas, but lacking consistency in either its smaller details or its overall anatomy. It was important to convey size and power. Non-legendary Pokemon generally avoid having too many intricate details, but given what I was going for, it was exactly what I was missing. If it gets to 50% HP or below, you get its swarm form.
Okay.
Oh my god! Get out of here!
Oh my
This is my starter Pokemon right here.
What's with the Super Sentai bugs lately?
I see some Buzzwole in there.
You're speaking my language.
Buzzwole, Golisopod,
Yeah.
and then Wishiwashi and Palafin that went into inspiring this. Look at the height, look at the stats.
Oh my god.
We've had loads of Pokemon based off kaiju before, so I was taking inspiration from like Pacific Rim, your Ultramans. I never would have made this before Gen 9, but the fact that Palafin exists and has that high a base stat total, I was like,
It does? I didn't know. I didn't look at his base stat though. Wow.
Oh, Palafin
Yeah, he's
is
an arsty.
disgusting.
He's disgusting.
What's funny is that this is unintentional, but like, you know how I said like the first form looks very Western? This one definitely does, it looks very Eastern.
There's a lot of like gimmick Pokemon, and the whole idea of Detonant, if it's above 50% HP, it's gonna die to a rock attack. So how do you safely get it down to 50 HP? You send it into Stealth Rocks. So if you have like Heal Pulse or something, and you heal it back up above 50 HP, it reverts back to the tiny one with no defense.
Oh, that's annoying.
Because otherwise it's like, oh my god, what do you even do?
True, okay.
And I did give it like a Sun and Moon style dex entry, where it's just,
It's dead.
this thing will kill you.
Just,
Yeah.
you're dead.
You have one hope.
Run.
Yeah.
That's because its speed stat is so low.
I do love the pose.
I don't know what.
Pose is great.
Yeah, you'll see in the time lapse, it took me a while.
Did you have like reference for it, or like it was?
I think I winged the pose.
Wow.
Just pull that out my brain, don't need to brag, nothing like that.
I'm a big fan of Buzzwole, so yeah, this is definitely hitting. And Loki's also. I'm a big fan. I guess I really do like just cool looking bug.
I think bug is low-key my favorite type.
It's crazy because like bugs are like my least favorite thing in real life, and then I think in Pokemon, I think that's the whole point, is that being able to just befriend things that you can't in real life is so cool.
Yeah, I want to befriend a 27-foot fire ant colony.
Yeah,
man.
you could just jump on his back.
Yeah.
Like if you touch him, does it feel like a million ants, or is it solid?
Why would you say that?
Those are questions that I will leave up to the imagination of the viewer.
So, right off the bat, I'm gonna ask a request for Ron. Could you have this segment play Great Canyon from Pokemon Mystery Dungeon? And thank you very much, just for me.
I could. I mean, that's very possible.
And all of them kind of fit in 4 proverbs. And you'll see how. Because
that's illegal.
It's not exactly 4. It's kind of like it's 2. And then if those don't work, then it's like backup ones.
Don't work.
I'm calling the police right now.
I'm calling Dalmatian.
Yeah, we need Dalmatian in here.
The first proverb I did was Mother Knows Best.
That's a good one.
Not because that is what the Pokemon is based on, but because I was thinking to myself, okay, I want to do this kind of Pokemon, but what do I want to do? And so I went, hey mom, what should the Pokemon be?
That's
Oh
adorable.
my God.
That's funny.
The secondary proverb, if you want it to actually be based on the Pokemon, is imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
No, okay, that's legal. You're allowed to do that.
So she said to me, well, if you want to make something based on a desert, then what kind of desert? She speaks Spanish, so she's trying to describe to me like, you know those like little things, those little they kind of look like this, and I'm like, what are you talking about? It's just like, an axolotl, and I'm like, okay, sure. There's a lot of axolotl Fakemon, but why not? And this desert thing is not that it's a desert Pokemon. Not only that it's a desert Pokemon, but you know how like one of my favorite Pokemon is Appleton, and that's a desert dragon?
Yeah.
Well, I decided I needed to make yet another desert dragon. Here it is. Putty Pudding. Well, Putty Pudding.
God.
Putty Pudding.
Where's
Putty pudding.
Yeah. So here's a funny thing. Flan, which is a pretty, big dish in Mexico. It doesn't originate from Mexico, but it is this European thing that is just so popular in Mexico. And for the longest time, I was just like, oh yeah, I love this thing. And then when I moved to America and made a bunch of weeaboo friends in anime club, they're just like, oh, I love pudding. And I'm like, that's flan. No, it's like this Japanese thing. It's pudding because it's got like a cute little kawaii face. I'm like, oh, it's flan. Call it flan. So when I was younger, I was like, it's called flan. But nowadays, I'm just like, wow, there is just so many things that Japan and Mexico have in common. I mean, I could go on and on about that. There's this whole thing, but we share a lot of favorite foods, and one of those foods is flan or pudding. So pet axolotls, they're not really supposed to be white and pink. They are actually pretty like spotted. They're modded. They have like camel patterns to fit into the environment, but a lot of people kind of cutify them a little bit. Like here in America, they're just like, oh no, they're these cute little like pink little blobs, and we want the pets. We want to like put them around the pet trade industry, and the numbers are going down in the wild, but the pet axolotls are going up in captivity. It's a whole thing. So I also kind of based it off one of my least favorite animals, and I know this is it's not my least favorite because of the animal, but it's my least favorite because of humans, and that is the pug. Pugs,
that's so fair.
Same.
So fair.
Pugs
That's
are good
so fair.
boys, but humanity is just so obsessed with making things cute, and they don't know what they're doing. And this is what it is. If Pudding is this salamander that used to look like a salamander, but now it looks like flan. It's got this cute little candy gills. It's not exactly in pain, but you can see the stats are just so they're so mid.
Just to make sure, you are aware of Jigglypuff's Japanese name is Pudding?
I was gonna say too.
Because no, that's like it's funny because no, this is a good thing. It's funny because you said this is based on flattery.
Well, sure. Ultra Balls in Japan are Hyper Balls, and
Yeah.
Beast Balls in Japan are Ultra Balls. And I'm like,
Exactly.
oh man.
So yeah, it happens a lot.
Like,
No, I
yeah.
love this guy.
Yeah, I love the texture, the gelatinous feel of the hearts, and then especially kind of drool that sits on top of the tongue. It looks delicious. I hate to say it. It looks delicious.
It does.
I usually never say this with a Fakemon, but I can like hear this guy.
The squishing.
Yeah. Like,
You can hear it as you're eating it, you monster.
Modern Pokemon is just going to, unique turn these days.
I was gonna say this looks like a Gen 10 Pokemon. I would want to grasp. I want those fingers to grasp my finger. So yeah. So wait, just to make sure. So you did put like Pug inspiration into this?
Kinda. More like the basic. There's a lot of things that are being bred to be cute.
Yeah.
And those are two, are the big things that people have, that people know of, and people are being more aware of.
Now you gotta share this video so people are more aware.
Do your part.
So the second one I think is going to be cool. It's an evolutionary line, and it's also got two proverbs. I mean, the main proverb, it might not be much of a proverb. It's just a thing that I always like to hear. Regish is black, friend of Jack. Regish is yellow, kill a fellow. So that's not much of a proverb, It doesn't really teach you anything except for to stay away from certain snakes.
Got it. Yeah, I don't know if that's a proverb or not, but it does sound like one.
And so the main one is never judge a book by its cover.
That's definitely a proverb.
That's one.
I know that one. I mean, I know the other one too, but that one's that's
never
like.
judge a snake by his scales.
So you can already tell.
You put it together. I didn't even realize.
Never judge a snake by its scales. Oh wow! And I think you can already tell what kind of snake species it's going to be based on. Both of them.
The book snake.
The book snake.
There's no book snake.
Oh. Now this little thing
Oh my god, it's a starter Pokemon right there. That's amazing.
is known as
What's wrong with you?
Killofellow. His name is Killofellow.
Yeah, he's perfect.
I need to just.
God damn.
Oh my god! Okay,
Killofellow. That's funny. That's really
I
good.
love.
The rendering on this is so insane.
Yeah, this one looks like a start. When it looks like a starter, it's top 10 Pokemon.
Thank you. Yeah, so Killofellow actually doesn't have venom, which it's kind of wrong for me to do this because it's based on a coral snake, which is very venomous. But I kind of switch it around. You know what? Make a non-venomous snake, but the pre-evolution still has a deadly bite, and you can tell by the fact that it has these, plug prongs fangs, and it has a little wall socket head. And you can tell from its body, red is touching yellow, so it's Killofellow.
So good.
It's very antisocial. It's very reserved. It doesn't really want to be bothered.
He'd rather kill a fellow.
And not even that. Sometimes it just doesn't even want to be messed with. Sometimes it just wants to run away and not even bite anyone at all. So I think when you catch it, it'd be a pretty low friendship rate already. And it evolves through friendship.
The socket on the top of the head looks like another Killofellow has to bite the top of it, and insert its fangs into the head.
That'd be
the socket extensions,
Oh
yeah.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, thankfully they don't do that because that'd be pretty bad. But when you evolve it, and it takes a while because it evolves through friendship, that's where the never judge a book by its cover proverb falls in, because this thing is supposed to be your friend by the end. It's one of the friendliest snakes you could ever have encountered. This friendly snake is Watchaback.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, the colors are so fun. It looks like candy.
So Watchaback is based on what do you call it? A jumper cables.
Yeah. Wow.
Jumper
saw that
cables.
right away.
Wait, this is the kind of stuff that you would see someone who their car is it's not functioning too well. Well, just put on some jumper cables and we'll try to get your car jump started so we can get you out of there. And that's kind of what it does. This snake travels around the desert at lightning fast speeds, and sometimes will stop by someone who is in need of electrical help, and charge up their stuff.
I think this family is probably the most realistic Pokemon that has been made in the series. Everything that is good about a Pokemon is in these two.
Yeah.
One of the most important things about like making a snake Pokemon is how can you make a snake more like a snake? You add things to it that are not snakes, like other serpentine-looking things. So I don't know if you've noticed, but this snake is also based on a ribbon eel, a Pokemon an animal that I've always wanted to make a Pokemon out of, but I never knew how to make a ribbon eel.
They're both long boys.
And it has a fake head at the end, but it's it's not really a head.
True.
It just looks like a head, like in a silhouette.
What's with eel Pokemon and having fake heads on their tail, like Huntail?
Yeah.
What was so cool is, so you said this is based on a jumper cable, and it evolves through friendship, right? And ever since I was young, I always thought that the whole concept of like being stranded in the middle of the road and needing someone to help you with like a jump rope cable or whatever was always like the ultimate sign of like humanity, of like, helping a random stranger just like, get their car back to normal. So it's like, it's funny that that's how it evolves, by like friendship. So it's honestly very poetic.
It's just gorgeous. It's such a gorgeous
Yeah,
design.
I'm stunned silent, honestly. Like I love this.
Now, whenever I design Pokemon for these videos, I always think about how is it going to move, and
How does it move?
something between a rotom and an eel. It's just erratic. It's not. It looks.
I love
Overstimulated?
Overstimulated. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even want to continue talking
Let's end the
about
video.
this. Yeah,
I'm gonna go home. It's been real, guys. I'll
we
see you
already
next
know
time.
how good this is. We don't need to really talk about it. No, I'm actually serious.
One more thing. Just one more thing. Watch your back. Watch your back. The name is, well, it watches your back, but it's also a little too overexcited. So watch your back. You might get run over if you're not careful.
All right, so I got a presentation for you guys. Hello, everybody.
Oh yeah.
So, when I started, I was super excited, but then struggled for a little bit. And I started thinking about trying to find proverbs that already kind of told a story, right?
Guess I'll die.
Yeah, so you got something like, the early bird gets the worm. And I'm thinking like, well, you establish the characters here. If we're making 3 Pokemon, you've got, the bird who's sleeping, the bird who's like alert, and then you got the poor worm that's gonna die. And so, when I look back at the prompt, I realized that we should get proverbs that adhere to our life. And so I started to think about my personality, and I came down to one word: perseverance. I've been saying perseverance my whole life. So what happens when we falter? How do we face obstacles that are in and out of our control? To begin is easy. To persist is art. Across the next 3 proverbs, we're going to create a Pokemon. And I know this is like kind of vague, but I promise we're going to find the path that will answer these questions and more.
This feels like a seminar.
And I'm
Yeah,
stunned.
that's
the-
TED Talk.
Good, perfect. Let's start by giving this guy a grounded, simple silhouette and cute proportions akin to a starter. We'll use warm, bright colors plus the iconic stripes of a tiger to allude to an energetic typing. But that was too easy. All I did was take a real-world animal and run it through a Pokemon filter. Well, starting is easy. Persistence is an art. For our proverb to establish the theme of perseverance, it was important you meet this Pokemon because, surprise, this little guy ain't our focus. Well, not at least this version. Here's our first Pokemon.
Does he scream?
No screaming.
He roars.
He roars, a little roar.
Wow.
Everyone
Wait.
say hi to Tiger.
Why is this shiny sad?
Oh, you activated my trap card. I was hoping you guys would notice that a lot later, but we will get into that sad little man.
Honestly, I think that's the first thing everybody knows. Not gonna lie.
Oh, okay. Well, here I am planning out this incredible seminar. So let me get into Tiger, the assertive Pokemon. Tiger are naturally curious by nature and often venture out into their habitats without any fear. They're incredibly strong at a young age and develop impressive hunting skills that allow them to take down Pokemon far stronger than them. We know that with Pokemon trainers, the post-game for a lot of people is shiny hunting. So, looking back at that proverb, persistence. Shiny hunting takes a lot of effort, a lot of time. We don't ever think about the perspective of the Pokemon. So I figured, what happens when the shiny does affect the Pokemon?
Wow.
And
how is this the first time I've ever thought of that?
I will introduce you now to the shiny Pokemon, who is its own entity. Still a variant, I suppose, but everyone say hello to Emptiger.
Okay.
Now, the shiny has presented an obstacle for this Pokemon. Born a striking white, this Pokemon is unable to have the same advantage as its normal counterpart, and develops many negative traits in itself that put it in grave dangers. As a result, it's often found fleeing and withdrawing from battles. But I decided to drop Emptiger's stats just by a little bit to its counterpart.
I noticed.
When you take away its stripes, all of a sudden it's not a tiger anymore, right? It's kind of like a general kind of feline. And that was very interesting to me. We've heard the idiom, tigers need to earn their stripes, for example. I think that's even a term in the military. Because of its, what people would praise it for, right? Like, oh, it's shiny, this is the thing that I want, but it finds life to be quite difficult. Let's jump into the evolved form.
I'm so focused right now.
I'm so happy.
I'm gonna cry.
No crying. No crying. Here we have 2 lines. Figure 1, awful shinies. Okay? If I saw these in the wild, I'd leave them alone. I don't want you in my decks. I don't want you in my PC. Bottom row, awesome shinies. Now, of course, in real life, this is going back to what we were talking about earlier. Real world shinies, these animals actually have an incredible disadvantage in surviving the wild. They can't hide. They can't deter their prey if their colors are meant to scare their predators.
Yeah.
What is an Emptiger supposed to do? Feel sorry for yourself that you're different, or you can fight back. Fall 7 times, stand up 8. If Emptiger is a blank canvas, then it's time we put some paint on the Pokemon that'll be its evolution. Let's put him in an action pose to show his fearless yet reckless nature. Our friend here is going through some major character development which will be rewarded soon. Littering his snow white fur against a flurry of scars, this little man truly lives out the proverb of fall 7 times, stand up 8. And then some. We'll use a red-orange for the painful symbols of resilience to add visual breaks and a much-needed pop of color to our concept. Hostiger.
Oh.
Wow.
The name, Hostile and Tiger, the reckless Pokemon.
Oh my god, that's so genius! I just realized the concept!
Once a shocking white, this Pokemon has been tested meticulously by its merciless environment. They seem to despise their scars, believing them to be symbols of their weakness. These Pokemon are constantly on edge, ready to pounce at a moment's notice, even when at a disadvantage. However, it seems their rugged nature is transforming the Pokemon inside and out at a rapid pace. Of course, turning scars, turning your weakness, your fear, everything that harms you into something that might protect you. You see someone, with these kind of markings, you're going to stay away.
Can I say something, Professor?
Of course. Did you raise your hand, though?
I did, you just didn't see.
He's in the back.
Cool. It's cool because fall 7 times, stand up 8 also kind of ties in with a cat's 9 lives, if you want to think about it.
Oh, sick. As we head to our next set of reference sheets, we're going to evolve Hostiger, a Pokemon who started as a scaredy cat, still scared and insecure. I was going to pull a Moxie and give you guys a million forms.
Well, technically you already are giving me, because these are technically already 3 Pokemon.
That's true.
I gave you a big ant, I think you're fine.
You did, yeah.
You gave me a million Pokemon.
Well, I say Moxie because he did give us some interesting cat Pokemon. Shout out to Moxie. I'll eventually get to my own deck, so that's more of a little teaser. But
wait, are you giving us 5 Pokemon?
No, you're getting 4. I'm doing a little,
Are you doing an ad in True Green's video?
Oh my god.
No, never. What? Like and subscribe. Everyone join my OnlyFans. Patreon. No, but I wanted to showcase the journey, the perseverance. God, I'm really stuttering every time I say the word. But
I'm so invested.
But this guy, I wanted to make him a 3-stage, not just because of the prompt, but to show that this guy had to go that extra step, that he had to get hurt, that he had to be vulnerable, that he had to fight through his fear. I'm going to introduce you guys, and you probably may have heard this already. Kintsugi.
Yeah.
This is an ancient Japanese art form where you don't toss something aside because it's broken. You can celebrate it. You can fix it and bring it back whole, right? We celebrate our triumph over adversity. Measure twice, cut once. For this final form, we need to emphasize a bold silhouette that reads unshakable. Large chest, even larger arms, and a poised stance gives this Pokemon an air of dignity. As far as color, we're trading out white for black to allow the new approach of the stripes to really shine. We'll be using the Japanese art of Kintsugi as inspo, allowing this final form to wear its history as a badge of honor. These marks imply the coming type change for the Pokemon and are designed symmetrically. No matter how they were earned, these scars were destined to become something more. Everyone say hello to Kintorai.
Oh.
Hello.
Oh my god.
Whoa. Okay, yeah, this one's pretty cool. Not gonna lie, this one's pretty sick.
Oh, the type is...
Wow.
If you've noticed,
wow.
I made sure not to give Hostiger a fighting type because I wanted him to still face through that adversity. All those scars harden into steel. I made sure to have allusions to the electric typing early on. Tiger's stripes have these electric motif that hug its face and its arms. I made sure to even in Hostiger give him scars that were shaped like thunderbolts and whatnot. Also, fun little discovery, M-Tiger, which is, empty Tiger, EMP of M-Tiger becomes the electric type. Isn't that sick?
Yeah, because I was gonna say there's EMP, but I was like, that makes no sense because there's no...
So Kintorai is the lustrous Pokemon. I chose that classification in homage to the fact that it's the shiny variant. Something you'll also have noticed along the way is that these guys simply do not have a shiny variant. Right? Those scars are now meticulously joined together, taking something that was painful and making them beautiful. The gold kind of evokes circuitry. This is a Pokemon that's standing proud now. It's waiting. It's not jumping and leaping at you. It's not showing fear. In fact, its ability, called Stormfront, reads that this Pokemon attacks last always. If it takes damage, its attack and special attack goes up 2 stages. It's also got insane pseudo-legendary stats because I realized I kind of wanted to make this series a mythical line. He's able to pounce at a moment's notice, but he has now learned how to measure twice and cut once. No longer scared, no longer eager. He's waiting.
I think this is the episode we are most speechless.
I am sitting down and I need to sit down.
Well, thank you.
That was incredible.
If this was real, this would 100% be top 10 Pokemon because it already combines a lot of my top 10 Pokemon into one Pokemon. And I realized...
What's that?
Well, yeah.
I just realized that I guess I like tigers because, for example, or big cats. Luxray is my favorite, is what is in my top 10. Arcanine is in my top 10. Raikou is my favorite of the Legend of the Beasts.
Represent.
And then it just combines them all.
The first form, M-Tiger, is definitely an homage and nod to Kimba.
I was gonna say that. Oh my god.
Yeah. But yeah.
That face makes me want to cry.
This is the handsome episode.
It makes you think about oh yeah, sometimes you do have to break the mold to create something totally brand new.
I'm just glad you went last because no way I go after this.
I knew the order was correct, and let's not understate the name is a perfect combination of gold, tiger, and thunder. So
I forgot to mention Tora is the Japanese name or word for tiger. Rai is that name for again thunder, masculine kind of name. Kin could be for king. Kin of course for Kintsugi. It all tracks.
I'm calling it. This is I don't know if the best episode, but definitely the best Fakemon out of the series.
We did it, guys!
We did it.
Go follow these people on their channels and Twitters. Everything's in the description because you definitely want to follow the progress of these wonderful artists. And if you haven't, go check out the previous episodes of the 4 Artist series. That's it.
We're all in them.
Exactly.
Yeah, every single episode. I'm in the background as a fan.